I gotta tell you, Madam Producer, these devices
Patrick, obviously this is the second time that you faced the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Second time that you've had a rematch against the Super Bowl opponent. You've had success and it carries that into the next matchup against Stanford. Do you take things from those previous matchups to the tape from them, or do you scratch it and you slate with different rosters?
You take a couple things, just because they're a lot of the same players. I mean, obviously they have good players, but a lot of the same players, a lot of the same coaches. You have to learn from what they've done this season, obviously. And so you look at the tape, you get what you can from that, and then you move on to what they've done this season.
Hey, Pat, what's your impression of Jalen Hurts and what he's been able to do with this Eagles offense this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's extremely talented. I mean, I saw it firsthand in the last Super Bowl that we played, and I think what the best thing about him is he's a winner. He knows how to win football games, and if that's throwing the football, if that's running the football, whatever it takes, in order to be great in this league, you have to find ways to win football games.
Patrick, 17 straight games, one possession wins. You know how to build momentum.
I think the best thing we do is just we compete to the very end. It doesn't matter how the game looks from the beginning to the end. We're just going to find a way to get the win. And that's about one possession or about two possessions, whatever it is, we're just going to find a way. That moment of how I live my life and how I need to be fully invested in God.
Patrick, if I have one question, please.
So you've been in so many different games in your career, so many incredible games, including multiple different Super Bowls. How does this week leading up compare to weeks in the years past?
Yeah, Super Bowl is always top of the top, you know, and to be able to have this opportunity to be in this game is always special. And so we're just going to go out there and lay it all on the line. I mean, we've worked so hard to be in this game, and I'm proud of my teammates. We're one win away from going out and completing history, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
How do you feel,
you're
Patrick?
already considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. How does that type of talk make you feel?
I just want to be remembered as one of the greatest teams of all time at the end of the day, and I know how blessed I am to be in Kansas City and the people that I have around me, coaching and players, and so I'm more focused on leaving the imprint on the Kansas City Chiefs and how we are remembered for the rest of the time.
Patrick,
On the rise of sports gambling, do you feel pressure from threats against yourself, fellow players, coaches, or refs?
Not at all. I mean, I just go out there and play the game that I love at the end of the day, and so I know people gamble on the game and everything like that, but at the end of the day, I play football for the love of it, and that's what I always do.
Is it good for the sport?
I think it gets people watching. I think that's good for the sport. But at the end of the day, I want people to realize that it's a game that you play on the playground for recess, and it's something that you just go out there and give everything you love, and I think that's what we got to do on the football field, and I think that's everybody on that football field.
Hey, Patrick.
Many of us have gotten to cover you in so many Super Bowls, and it seems like the moment's never too big for you. When, if ever, do you get emotional about all this?
I think just after the games, when I look back on seasons, I get emotional just because of the process, the hard work that you put in. Win or lose, guys give everything that they have, and every team's different. I mean, we have a lot of the same guys that have been on these Super Bowl runs with us, but at the same time, from my first Super Bowl to now, I think it's only like 3 to 5 guys that are on that team. And so no matter how the season ends, you're going to be a different football team, and you just embrace it and really have those moments together as a team, and I think that makes you a little emotional.
And you spoke last night about how growing up you hated the Patriots too, so you understand when people don't like to see you back on this stage. But what do you know now in the middle of it that fans don't know, media doesn't know, how hard it is?
Yeah, I think it's just the grind of every single day of having to start from the bottom and then work your way back to the top. And it's hard. It's hard to be in this game, and I don't take it for granted. And it speaks to the guys that I have around me that they're willing to go back to work, start from the beginning, work their tail off again to make it to this game. And so I think the fans know that, but until you experience it on a day-to-day process, you don't really appreciate it.
Patrick, when you're on the field, and basically the game's on the line, you are very close to reach something that is not even Montana, not even Brady has been able to do, which is 3 consecutive championships. How do you disconnect all of this? How do you disconnect basically all the noise and to focus on what you have to do? Where's that mental power come from?
I think you just have to have a process of how you go about every single play, and there's certain checkpoints that I need to do as far as recognizing the coverage or recognizing what we need to do as an offense and just getting us to the best opportunity to be successful. And then you just play the football game. At the end of the day, it's a football game. It's a game that you play growing up. You just make it about that moment, you make it about that play, and you just execute your job.
Patrick, sometimes people think of